Shalom. Kahaloy Mla, YAHAWAH, SIMEON, BAHASHAM, KAKWADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, and teaching and well. Peace and salutations be to the hopeful elect. And by that Tazwan, coming at you from the prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. This is going to be going into the nukes, the judgment, final judgment, inspired by this video, released from the new game Black Ops 6. And the way they dropped the nuke in there is all too realistic, man. You know, it looks more realistic than it used to, and it was inspiring, so it inspired me to do this lesson. So I just want to grab a few scriptures. I'll put the video in the intro so you can see. But we're gonna get right into it. It says in the book of Ezekiel 22 and 20, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. Okay, so the Lord's going to gather all these nations and his anger and his fury. And you see all these these immigrants so-called flowing into America now. All these people flowing into America is because the Lord is gathering them up to be melted. You know, a great big judgment is going to take place here in Babylon, which is modern day America, man. You know, these people ain't going to be able to stand. These people not going to be able to withstand it. All right. Oh, God. Ezekiel 22 and 20. Once again. And NIV. It says, as silver, copper, iron, lead, and tin are gathered into a furnace to be melted with a fiery blast, so will I gather you in my anger and my wrath and put you inside the city and melt you. So in this version it says the Lord's going to put you inside the city. What city is he putting everybody inside? He's putting everybody inside of America, man. Gathering them up here to be melted. Now these nukes are going to hit all over the world, you know, but dominantly here in America. America's going to be the birthmark to the new world. Okay, it's going to be a big black desert. Okay. In the NLT, it says, just as silver, copper, iron, lead, and tin are melted down in a furnace, I will melt you down in the heat of my fury. So the Lord is pissed, man. And just watching that video, you can see that was very disastrous, you know, for him to melt before the fire even hit him. As soon as the blast hit, he began to melt, man, you know. What caught my attention is him gasping for air at first because the elements are going to melt. That means the oxygen is going to be taken up from the heat, you know. You're trying to breathe, but the fire is in the air, you know. First, you're going to feel it in your lungs, man. It's one of the first things you're going to feel the fire in is in your chest, you know. You're going to burn from inside out, from an invisible heat. You got something called that besom of destruction. Let me grab it. I will, in the book of Isaiah 14 and 23, I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. Let's grab the definition of the word besom in the blue letter. Besom. The lexicon. It says matete matete, in the Greek. Definition is apparently, it says apparently a denominative from H2916, a broom, as removing dirt, remove dust, to dust, besom. So when you think about a broom, what are you doing with the broom? You know, you're sweeping. Okay. I will sweep it with the broom of destruction. Okay, but it says the besom of destruction. So the Lord is gonna swipe Babylon. Imagine a broom of fire. You know, you got the little bristles at the bottom of a broom sweeping the floor. But imagine everything being, you know, imagine being an ant on the floor when the broom comes across it. Okay, that's gonna be a wall of fire. Just like the broom brings a wall of bristles against the ants and the crumbs and the insects on the floor. It's gonna be a wall of fire on the earth. You know. It says, saith the Lord of hosts. But he gonna make this place a possession for the bitter, and pools of water. Okay. So like it's a damn dog, man. It says, I will also make it a possession for the bitter and pools of water. Like a desert. Okay, you can have nothing but unclean birds here. The birds of death, death birds. What do? They clean up the decomposing things. Okay, you got birds that clean up bones. They eat bones. It says, while most vultures scavenge carrion meat, bearded vultures generally eschew flesh. They are the only birds in the world that eat primarily bones, which they scavenge from the carcasses of sheep, cattle, deer, ibex, and other animals. But America gonna be like a burnt offering, man. And the people in it are gonna be like the animals. America's gonna be like the altar, and the people in it are gonna be the animals on the altar, man. Okay. It says, bearded vultures eat up to 90% bones, mostly from the carcasses of large animals like sheep, cattle, deer, and ibex. They also eat some skin and meat, but this is secondary. And these birds know when destruction coming. You know, they can feel it in the air. They get to migrating and moving around to escape that destruction. Well, they gonna be eating you niggas up, man. You wicked 2/3. You know, you guys that fell out and you know, went back into the snares of the devil. Went back into the entrapment of Satan. You know, you gonna feel this fire, man. What you gonna do when that fire hits and you wake up to that? When you wake up, you're going to see the Lord and all the angels standing there. And all the prophets watching you. Hey, you woke up. You know, what's that song? Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. You know? It's almost like you're dreaming. But eventually you're going to wake up. The nuke's going to be the alarm clock. You're going to wake up before the Lord on his throne. And the Lord going to show you. Hey. You sent down there to please me, and this is what you did with that time. And that's when you're gonna wake up to the everlasting shame, man. Really, you know. A lot of Jake gonna wake up to everlasting shame, man. And it's not gonna be forever. It's gonna feel like forever, but it's gonna be a very long time because we gonna live forever. It says here in the book of Matthew. Book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse The book of Matthew chapter 13 verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. So that means you're going to gather clean fish and bad fish, unclean fish, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, which those vessels are going to be what? Chariots. But cast the bad away, you know. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angel shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. You ever experienced so much pain where you're gnashing your teeth together? Like, for example, if you put alcohol on a burn, or you putting alcohol on a cut or a wound, you know, or you tend into a wound or something, you start gnashing your teeth, pressing your teeth against each other real hard, and it was wailing, man. They're gonna be wailing. You heard the guy in the video, he was screaming for dear help, for dear life. There's nothing he could do. A huge hot fireball just melted everything in front of him, and now he's melting by watching it, you know. And he was standing afar off from a distance, seeing that fire shoot up into the air, that mushroom cloud shoot up into the air. Well, it was fire. It was thermonuclear fire, which would eventually turn into a mushroom cloud. America gonna get hit with 200 million of those, man. There's no escape. If he was melting from that far away, imagine 200 million of those things touching down on America, you know. These nations gonna go all out on America because they don't want America to retaliate. You see what America did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know, that's why these nations, what the scriptures say, shoot and spare no arrows. Let me grab it. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord YAHAWASHI, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Every one that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord YAHAWASHI. She touched the Lord's holy ones. She touched the Lord's children, man. You know, the Lord said, shoot at her and spare no arrows. These nations go shoot. They're going to shoot off their arrows, and these ain't no normal arrows we're talking about. We're talking about nuclear missiles. The book of Ezra tells you. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and he shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. What are the ends of the world? To each side of the world. To each end. From one country to another. From Russia to America, from China to America, you know, and these little nations now are getting weapons as well. Russia's arming these little nations like Iran with missiles, with nuclear missiles, so that they can tag in too, you know. You got Russians down here in Cuba. Nukes can hit here hey man, these devils can have troops on the ground in an hour, you know. It says, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. They ain't gonna miss. Look at the blast radius on these things. They can't miss, you know. They got nuclear missiles underwater and submarines, and they got them on land in silos to come down from heaven. And that's how you know it's a heavenly judgment. Because these missiles are going to come down from heaven, from the sky. It's going to look like it's coming from heaven. You know? It's going to make an arch. That's going to look like it's coming down from heaven. Like, it's going to look like the Lord sent it directly. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Just like the nuclear missiles. Going to get sent. And they ain't gonna return Once you shoot that arrow, ain't no stopping the arrow. It's going to have to land somewhere. It says, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The Lord already sent, he gave the alarm, sounded the alarm for the plagues to be sent upon Babylon, and they ain't going to return again until they accomplish the Lord's will. That's a lot of death and destruction coming, you know. It says, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. The fire ain't gonna be put out. This fire ain't gonna be put out. You seen that Tesla burning with that Jake in there? Yeah, help me, man. That fire could not be put out until it consumed the foundation of that Tesla. Okay, and everything in it. Doors locked on them. It was judgment time. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward. And I know he's seen a death angel in the back seat when he was in the front seat burning. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward. When you shoot an arrow, it's not going to turn around and hit a U-turn. That motherfucker going straight to its target. And these arrows are called nuclear missiles today. The type of arrows that these scriptures are talking about are called nuclear missiles, man. These are mighty arrows. These things are huge, the size of towers, you know, the size of huge buildings. When they touch down, many people gonna melt in the area of it. You know, for miles and miles, many people are going to melt, man. Say you were to survive a nuclear missile, which ain't gonna happen. Say you were to survive, the radiation gonna kill you afterwards. It's like an invisible fire melting you from the inside out. It says, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. You know, so just as an arrow don't do a U-turn, so shall the plagues that the Lord sent to the earth not gonna do a U-turn. Famine gonna kill and destroy. Pestilence gonna kill and destroy. You see a lot of pestilence going around already. Me and a beautiful brother, Mawan, just did a lesson on that. I'll get that up too. The sword ain't, the Lord sent the sword out. It ain't gonna turn back. None of these things that the Lord sent out gonna return until it consumes the foundation of the earth, until this world is destroyed, so that the Lord's kingdom can come, you know. But hey, I truly hope this, matter of fact, I'll grab this one, I'll close out. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And when I saw that video, the Black Ops 6 nuke video, I said, whoa. Whoa, that's destruction, man. Who gonna deliver me in those days? You know, that's terrifying. Fear the Lord, man. I was looking at it with the brother I was like, hey, man, pray for mercy, brother. That's not something you want to be in, man. That's not something I want to be in. Lord willing, we can be at that number, you know. You don't want to be in that fire, man. You don't want to be near the fucking fire. All right, you want to be up in the sky watching it from above, where you're protected and where you're safe. You don't want to be ground level with that shit. If you ground level, that means you won't be inside that fire eventually. All right, but I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you. YAHAWAH, listening to the sincerity. So next time, I give all glory, honor, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, SHAMAIWAN, Shalom.